I had been doing this job, recording, focusing on Jungle Mahal, and let us take the music. I have dealt with the Chuad Bidroh, Hisley Barracks, IIT Kharagpur to trace the missing links of indigenous Aborigine history in India, the rural economics, the Midnapur legacy of freedom and resistance, and it was since Aryan invasion when the non-Aryan people, the Negroid people stood up, led by the tribal people in central India, and they rejected foreign rule, foreign interest, and even Land Settlement Act, and Jungle Mahal was the epicenter for the struggle of freedom in independent India, because the tribals are subjected to unprecedented exclusion and ethnic cleansing, all on the name of inclusion, development, and growth. This is the landscape. Yes, it is like that. It is Tusue tribal festival in Jungle Mahal. This is all about the celebration of life, which was abstracted in Jungle Mahal in last time. While it was the Lalgarh operation resultant after the clash between the state and the tribal people who were led by the Maoist insurrection. The Maoists captured the Jungle Mahal because of the lack of development, lack of inclusion. The deprived people joined the Maoist movement, and Maoist captured Jungle Mahal, for which Lalgarh operation was opted to flush out the, and I go directly to Lalgarh operation.
It's bloodshed along the Red Corridor.
This is Lalgarh.
And it's the greatest threat facing the nation.
It is about Operation Lalgarh, when the Indian government had to liberate its own land from its own people. It were the days in Lalgarh.
Central and state forces made a final push to flush out the Maoists.
We may not understand the crisis of Lalgarh until we understand the human escape there, different linguistics, different phonetics, who were never enslaved, never subordinated, and their typical landscape was out of mainstream, whether it is northeast, central India, Dandakan or any tribal area which denied the entrance of developed communities, and all those areas were scheduled areas, and those had been ruled by Shudra, tribal and Dalit kings for thousands and thousands years. They ruled themselves. They were autonomous, and they have their democratic units of governance. But after independence, these areas could not be included into mainstream, and the tension remained as on growth and on development's name. They were subjected to immense persecution, and this created Lalgarh, which was captured by the Maoists.
Returning to Midnapur along with the police party, and the police party now has come under fire. Clearly goes to show that clearly the fight for Lalgarh is far from over. We are already well ahead of a clear zone. This is the zone that had been actually cleared by the CRPF. Yet the Maoists have come back again and challenging the CRPF. You clearly can understand that they are definitely not scared. The fact that
Akash Banerjee loaded this video.
This, of course, situation getting out of hand. With camera person Chitra Bhanu, this is Akash Banerjee for Headlines Today. These are the remains of a small CPM office in Doijuri. Nothing basically remains of it. Maoist-backed cadres are now continuously attacking the CPM left, right and center. They say that the party is responsible for their state of affairs. This is the level of violence. This is the level that the people are being made to see the party office of CPM's renewed under constant attack here in West Bengal. And well, going by what the Maoists are saying, they haven't had enough. They'll do more of this. These men are deprived and angry, and that's what makes them violent. They are seeking for answers which they feel they might never get. A fertile ground for Naxals to spread their propaganda web. Lalgarh is not the only victim of a grand Naxal design to create a red bastion across India. 230 districts across 20 states are affected in India right now. The Red Corridor from Nepal runs virtually across the country, from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and right down to Kerala.
The current developments in West Bengal, in these western districts bordering Orissa, is a cause of the Naxalites' change of policy, where now, having secured the countryside to a certain extent, now they want to extend their influence and dominate a full district.
And if you thought that Naxalism was limited to the forests, think again. Last week, 2 women Naxals were arrested by the Haryana police near Kurukshetra, where they were spreading propaganda to find new recruits. Uttarakhand, Punjab, and now even Tamil Nadu are areas where the Naxals are trying to spread their network. Maoists, in the meantime, are even building bridges with transnational terror groups like the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the LTTE. But the root cause for their success still remains manipulating popular anger to build their bases and then spread
the popular anger is important because the masses have no escape of public hearing. Their problems never addressed. They remain deprived.
Tackle the problem immediately.
A quaint quaint sleepy town just 150 kilometers from Kolkata, but a deprived town. Abject poverty, no electricity, no irrigation, barren lands. And for many days now, it's
Thank you, Akash Banerjee, for this
But
clipping.
the biggest grievance of the villagers here has been the police harassment over the years and the arrest of innocent tribal youth. Even incidents of sexual assault on their women folk. Egged on by the Maoists, tribals joined the warpath. They vowed to liberate Lalgarh from the tyranny of the CPM, the tyranny of the last 30 years.
I think the Maoists have found very fertile ground there for their, their message that only an armed revolution, bypassing the democratic process, is the only answer to their problems.
Offices, residences, anything that belonged to the party were torched. All roads leading to the area were dug up. Police camps were set ablaze. One after the other, CPM party offices were demolished and burnt. Scores of local CPM leaders were shot dead. This was the Maoist Republic of Lalgarh.
Our tribal areas have not received that kind of sociological, economic and administrative attention from the governments. This disaffection of the people has been taken advantage of by the so-called Maoist or Nakshals.
It is as earlier, 50,000 Adivasis have paraded
Barbara Rao.
in Lalgarh area. There cannot be 50,000 Maoists there. Maoists may be 400 people, as the media also says. Where from the 50,000 people, it is Adivasis. So these 50,000 Adivasis have decided to resist the state violence.
Now, even as the forces have made inroads into the city, the anger against the administration is still very much there, waiting to be ignited by the next spark. Behind me, hundreds of state police forces and of course the CRPF getting ready to tackle the Maoists in Lalgarh. But if you want to tackle the entire Naxal menace and the Maoist menace in the country, you don't need hundreds, you need thousands of more forces at the central level, because this is one threat that is increasing at a daily level. With forces entering Lalgarh, Chief Minister Buddhadev Bhattacharjee was a relieved man. But not this man, the Home Minister, P. Chidambaram. He knows the battle has been won, but the war is far from over. The Naxal uprising in the Red Corridor is getting stronger, more violent, and the figures are spine-chilling. In the last 2 months alone, Naxals have killed 92 security personnel in 4 states. In 2009 alone, there have been 900 Naxal strikes in 4 states. The death toll stands at 200, with security forces suffering 170 casualties. The states are crying for central help. 16 battalions of paramilitary forces are already stationed in West Bengal's affected areas. But the state government continues to urge the centre for even more forces. It's a demand that finds an echo in other Naxal-infested states as well. Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, they all want more central troops. Jharkhand wants additional 12,000 personnel. Chhattisgarh, 8,000. Odisha has asked for 5,000 more men.
As you know, for some time, we have been asking for 4 more battalions of central paramilitary forces.
It is Navin Patnaik,
So urgently. in
Chief Minister of Odisha.
tackling the Nakshal menace, but nothing has been forthcoming.
The state wants to deal with Naxal menace, but they are not interested in public hearing whatsoever,
Taken into account.
in rule of law, in justice, in equality, social, political and economic equality, representation,
Improve their logistical
and
service
their
capabilities.
Jal Jangal Jameen,
Right time that the
they are deprived of Jal Jangal Jameen civic and human rights.
Of course, this demand hasn't quite left the CRPF amused. Kashmir, the trouble in the northeast, and now the Red Corridor. They have their hands quite full. They are overstretched and not willing to oblige.
हम लोगों का भूमिका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है किसी भी राज्य से राज्य सरकार को और भी बल चाहते हैं
Ajay Chaturvedi, the CRPF spokesperson.
केंद्र सरकार को अप्रोच करते हैं केंद्र सरकार के कहने से हम लोग अपने बल भेजते हैं
Left with little choice, the centre has now put the onus on the states. They want them to do more to tackle the
Chidambaram, then
If they
the Home
carry on
Minister.
militancy, certainly they'll have to be met with certain action by the state government.
What you see in the
Now I should read from this Santhali them with arrows, so violent, and see them in cultural activism. We should continue with that track now. This is Akar magazine edited by Giraj Kishore, and this is the Ride of Lalgarh Diary, and I would be reading some chosen parts from Lalgarh Diary. 5 जुलाई 2009 बृहस्पतिवार। हम जिस छत्रधर महतो, सीधो सुरैन और जिन लालगढ़वासी संथाल, मुंडा, चुआड़ विद्रोह के वंशधरों को जानते हैं, वो माओवादी नहीं है। मैंने ये लिखा, एंड प्लीज रिलेट दिस लालगढ़ डायरी टू द हिस्ट्री of thousands and thousands years of the Negroid, non-Aryan people in Jungle Mahal who had been converted to different modern religion, Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. They were never enslaved, they were never subordinated. They were ruled by their autonomous governance, ruled by Shudra, Dalit, OBC and tribal rulers, and they resisted most violently against foreign rule, against foreign encroachment in the scheduled areas as they were called during the British period. Since 1757, the defeat of Palasi, they resisted the Company Raj and it was Chuad Vidroh. I stressed in my earlier videos the history of Chuad Vidroh, the Hisli barracks and Anusilan Samiti, Gupta Samiti, revolutionary activities in Jungle Mahal. And it is not sudden. It is not sudden. We have to understand that the peasant and tribal insurrections, their resistance is nothing new. It is now called Maoist movement, but it has been there in every part of India, in every rural area, in north, in south, in northeast, in northwest, in west and eastern part of India, and we have traced the history of the insurrections, peasantry uprising and Adivasi uprising. Dealing with the Naxal or Maoist problem is a very complicated matter, and no Salwa Judum would solve it, no AFSA might solve it, not even the military state, until and unless we ensure justice, equality and inclusion of the Negroid, Aborigine and indigenous Adivasi masses into mainstream India and ensure civic and human rights for them, development and growth for them, their representation in every sphere of life. Only then the problem might be solved. So on 2nd July 2009, बृहस्पतिवार, I wrote, हम जिस छत्रधर महतो, सिदो सोरेन और जिन लालगढ़वासी संथाल मुंडा चुआड़ विद्रोह के वंशधरों को जानते हैं वो माओवादी नहीं है। माओवादी नहीं, पुरुलिया आतंक विरोधी जनगण कमेटी भी, पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार ने भी साफ साफ कह दिया है कि वो माओवादी नहीं है। राज्य सरकार राजनीतिक प्रक्रिया की बात करती है। तमाम वामपंथी राजनीतिक दल और नेता विचारक, बुद्धिजीवी सैन्य विकल्प और दमन के विरुद्ध हैं। केंद्रीय रेल मंत्री बंगाल में नंदीग्राम, सिंगूर और लालगढ़ जन विद्रोह की आंधी में जमीन आंदोलन की निर्विवाद नेता, मनुस्मृति शासक वर्ग की नवीनतम महानायिका, जिन्होंने हाल में पंचायत चुनाव, संसदीय निर्वाचन और एकदम ताजा नगर पालिका चुनावों के जरिए वाम दुर्ग को चकनाचूर कर दिया, वो भी लालगढ़ अभियान के विरुद्ध है। It was the scenario under which every political party in Bengal, the leftist as well as the rightist, the CPIM political leaders and intelligentsia and even the leader of popular resistance, the leader of agrarian resistance and Singur and Nandigram, Miss Mamta Banerjee was against the Lalgarh operation. How it happened, we have to understand. इसके उलट राज्य सरकार की सिफारिश व सहमति से माओवादी को प्रतिबंधित कर दिया गया। माओवादी पार्टी was banned और केंद्रीय कानून लागू करने की बाध्यता बताकर बंगाल में लागू हो गया आतंकवाद निरोधक कानून। ममता बनर्जी ने सत्ता का स्वाद चखने से पहले लालगढ़ अभ्युत्थान का पुरजोर समर्थन किया। ममता बनर्जी was firmly in support of the Maoists, and it is alleged that Maoists helped her to win the elections, and even Kabir Suman, the TMC Sansad, explained it in this way, and others do explain it in this way, that the CPIM communist parties and the left was ejected out of Jungle Mahal with the help of Maoists, and Mamata Banerjee had a good relationship with Kishanji, who wanted Mamata to become the Chief Minister of Bengal, and she eventually became. ममता बनर्जी ने सत्ता का स्वाद चखने से पहले लालगढ़ भूटान का पुरजोर समर्थन किया। तब माओवादी राष्ट्र व्यवस्था पर चोट किए बिना लगातार माकपा के कार्यालय ध्वस्त कर रहे थे और रोज माकपा नेताओं और कार्यकर्ताओं को निशाना बना रहे थे। It was the scenario. They were killing the CPIM cadres and leaders and destroying their homes and offices, and at that time they were not attacking the state, not the properties of state. They were attacking CPIM and left parties, and Mamata Banerjee supported Chhatradhar Mahto and his Policia Atang Virodhi Janaganir committee, and she had interactions with Kishanji also. नंदीग्राम और सिंगूर में माओवादियों की उपस्थिति अब जग जाहिर है. It is proved that in Singur and Nandigram Maoists were present there. लेकिन अब सैन्य अभियान की आड़ में माकपाई कैडर खोए हुए लालगढ़ पर दोबारा काबिज हो गए. And meanwhile, before the परिवर्तन, the assembly elections, the left government recaptured Lalgarh with Lalgarh operation initiated by state and central government in jointly, but theoretically the communists, the state government and the left opposed this operation as Mamata Banerjee opposed. लालगढ़ अभियान से इन पहले ममता ने दावा किया कि छत्रधर महतो या माओवादियों से उनका कोई संबंध नहीं है. It was quite amusing that just before the Lalgarh operation, Mamata Banerjee declared that she had no relations with Chhatradhar Mahto or any Maoist. छत्तीसगढ़, आंध्र, ओडिशा, झारखंड और बिहार की तुलना में बंगाल में माओवादी सक्रियता एकदम नजरअंदाज करने लायक थी. The Maoist activities in Bengal were negligible in comparison to other parts of tribal India. सालबनी में जिंदल समूहों के इस्पात कारखाने के शिलान्यास के अवसर पर मुख्यमंत्री बुद्धदेव भट्टाचार्य और तत्कालीन इस्पात मंत्री रामविलास पासवान को निशाना बनाकर हुई बारूदी सुरंग विस्फोट के बाद पुलिसिया कार्रवाई और स्कूली छात्रों की गिरफ्तारी से आदिवासी मूल निवासी भड़क गए और उन्होंने पुलिस बायकॉट का प्रचंड आंदोलन शुरू किया, जिसे प्रबल प्रतिपक्ष तृणमूल कांग्रेस का खुला समर्थन था. It began with the mines blast during the inauguration of a steel plant in Salbani by then Chief Minister Buddhadev Bhattacharya, and then Steel Minister in Center Ramvilas Paswan. Police arrested innocent children and students, and the reaction was most violent. The tribals in this area in Jungle Mahal never accepted the subordination, enslavement in any sense. I am not getting a proper track. It is Nagpuri, Chota Nagpuri dance. This is the music track. It began with Salgani and the Policia Atang Birodi Janaganer committee was formed. The leader was Chatradhar Mahato and Mamata Banerjee supported the Janaganer committee, and the intelligentsia which supported Mamata Banerjee and to change, to bring out the change with the demise of leftist rule for 35 years, most of them visited Jangal Mahal, and they were the part of the dais made by the Janaganer committee led by Chatradhar Mahato, and which was branded as a Maoist just before Lalgarh Abhiyan, लालगढ़ ऑपरेशन। मीडिया में खबरें छपने प्रसारित होने लगी कि लालगढ़ पूरी तरह माओवाद के शिकंजे में और राष्ट्र कट्टर में। इट वाज द मीडिया होमवर्क that it was made a hype that Lalgarh was captured by Maoists and the nation is endangered. It was the logic of Lalgarh operation in which the state and central leaders aligned. They were hand in hand, and the people of Jangal Mahal support from both sides, from the state military action and the Maoists. तभी माओवादी नेता विकास ने खुली का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ऐलान कर दिया कि माओवादी हिट लिस्ट में बुद्धदेव भट्टाचार्य टॉप पर है। बुद्धदेव भट्टाचार्य वाज ऑन द माओइस्ट ऑन टॉप ऑन द माओइस्ट हिट लिस्ट, और नंदीग्राम और सिंगूर आंदोलन के पीछे माओवादी ही सक्रिय थे। एंड Maoists leader Vikas confirmed that they Maoists participated and played most active role in Nandigram and Singur movement, for which Mamata Banerjee became the chief minister of West Bengal. यह खबर फैलते फैलते ममता बनर्जी ने लालगढ़ के महासंग्राम से अलग कर दिया। The media was hyping the Maoist capture of Jangal Mahal, and Mamata was alienating from the Janaganer committee. दूसरी तरफ माओवादियों से निपटने के लिए बुद्धदेव ने केंद्रीय मदद की मांग कर दी, and बुद्धदेव demanded the central intervention, and Chidambaram acted promptly. केंद्र ने तुरंत सैन्य अभियान और शून्य सहिष्णुता को जीरो टॉलरेंस, शून्य सहिष्णुता को हरी झंडी दे दी। केंद्र और राज्य सरकारें वहां माओवाद से निपटने के लिए CIA और मोसाद की भी मदद ले दी। एंड इट वाज रिपोर्टेड दैट द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट विद इट्स ऑल military and paramilitary forces was helped by CIA and Mossad too. कल तक लोकतांत्रिक आंदोलन और परिवर्तन की हवा बताया जा रहा लालगढ़ आंदोलन रातों रात माओवादी हो गया। The turnaround was overnight. The movement which was called democratic, which was called the movement for changing the leftist government, the governance of tyranny, it completely changed the color and it was branded Maoist. इसके खिलाफ बुद्धदेव भट्टाचार्य, ममता बनर्जी एक साथ लामबंद हो गए। बुद्धदेव भट्टाचार्य and Mamata Banerjee were on the same line. They stood against the Lalgarh, which was branded as Maoist. केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल की इस अभियान से माकपाइयों को इलाका दखल में मिलती अभूतपूर्व सफलता से घबराई ममता अब लालगढ़ अभियान बंद करने की गुहार लगा रही है। एंड it turned to be very amusing situation and political equation, because the CPIM and the left recaptured the Lalgarh under this Lalgarh operation, and Mamata suddenly began to oppose Lalgarh operation. केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल की सामूहिक जिम्मेदारी होती है, अगर ममता शुरू से ही लालगढ़ अभियान के विरुद्ध थी तो उन्हें अब तक इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए था. Had Mamata Banerjee was that against Lalgarh operation, she should have resigned once the operation began, but she did not choose it. छत्रधर महतो और माओवादी नेता आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि कल तक आंदोलन के साथ खड़ी ममता ने लालगढ़ के दमन के लिए सुरक्षा बल भेज दिया. छत्रधर महतो arrested, and I would try to get the video Chhatrodharer Gaan by Kabir Suman. Let me have that, and Kabir Suman yes, it is Chhatrodharer Gaan by Kabir Suman. She was elected TMC MP, and he supported Chhatrodhar Mahto, who alleged that Mamata betrayed them, the people, the masses of Chhatrodhar. And listen to the music.
কাজম দিল ইজ্জত, কাজম দিল প্রাণ, আর কিছু নয় বাঁধছে সময় ছত্রধারের গান, ছত্রধার। কেউ দিতে চায় আছাড়, কেউ দিতে চায় বাড়ি, দুঃখ মাটির দুঃখ নিয়ে ছত্রধারী দাঁড়িয়ে।
It is Kabir Suman, the ex-TMC MP, elected on TMC ticket, close ally of Mamata Banerjee.
আর কিছু নয় বাঁধছে সময় ছত্রধারের গান, ছত্রধার।
Sauli Mitra was seen in the frame. She supported Mamata Banerjee.
জঙ্গলে জঙ্গলে জল নেই কোথাও, বুকের নিচে ঘাস, উন্নয়নের টাকায় চলছে রাষ্ট্রীয় সন্ত্রাস।
State terror, Rashtriya Santras. It is the phrase Kabir Suman used in this song.
জঙ্গলে জঙ্গলে জল নেই কোথাও, বুকের নিচে ঘাস, উন্নয়নের টাকায় চলছে রাষ্ট্রীয় সন্ত্রাস। কেউ দিতে চায় আছাড়, কেউ দিতে চায় বাণী, দুঃখবাদীর দুঃখ নিয়ে ছত্রধারী দাঁড়িয়ে, ছত্রধার। রাষ্ট্র মানে
Yeah, Mamata Banerjee and Chhatrodhar in the same frame.
সমাজের তলায় আছে গানের ডায়নামাইট, এবার ধর পাকড় ঝলক ধরে তবে, বীর সার্বভৌম সময় মতো বিস্ফোরণী হবে। রাষ্ট্র মানে লেফট, রাষ্ট্র মানে রাইট, কুচকাওয়াজের তলায় আছে গানের ডায়নামাইট, এবার ধর পাকড় ঝলক ধরে তবে, বীর সার্বভৌম সময় মতো
Jungle Mahal. And it is also Jungle Mahal. Which turned violent suddenly. And it was Nagpuri dance, and see this Urao dance. Urao dance.
हमारे बाबा बंदी उराव, हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष सुखदेव भगत, हमारे सचिव और हमारे निदेशक, सहायक निदेशक और विभाग के तमाम अधिकारियों का, उपस्थित सभी अभिभावकों का, कलाकारों का, मीडिया कर्मियों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करते हैं, जोहार करते हैं। हम उस देश के वासी हैं, हम उस देश के वासी हैं जहाँ सुबह होती है बैलों की रिमझिम आवाज से और शाम होती है मांडर की खाप से। आइए आपको ले चलते हैं उराव जनजाति के जिस तरह से मौसम बदलते हैं, रात बदलते हैं और जैसे ही मौसम बदलता है हमारे पैरों का थिरकन, हमारे
Some clippings of लालगढ़।
बदलते जाता है। आप अभी देखेंगे आषाढ़ में रोपा रोते हुए, जी हाँ, हमारा चलना ही नृत्य है, बोलना ही संगीत है, मांडर हमारा जोश है। हम नाचेंगे, हमारी सभ्यता, हमारी संस्कृति जिसे हमारे पूर्वजों ने धरोहर के रूप में सौंपा है, उसे बरकरार रखना हमारा पुनीत कर्तव्य है। इसी के साथ हम शुरुआत कर रहे हैं उराव लोक नृत्य विविध मौसमी रागों पर आधारित।
It is Urao dance. It is same anywhere as a Vishwa Adivasi Divas on Raigad in Raipur. And see Lalgarh operation. Look at Lalgarh. It is from G News. It was like that the channels were telecasting live, and the tribal culture is same worldwide. It is full of color. The celebration of life, as seen Gondi song. Gondi is spoken all over central India.
सर्वप्रथम गोंडवाना की पावन भूमिया को सत नमन करते हुए, बामनगढ़ के देवी देवताओं को सेवा जोहार करते हुए, गोंडवाना रत्न दादा हीरा सिंह मरकाम के चरणों में सेवा जोहार करते हुए, मेरे संगीतज्ञ गुरु गोंडवाना सुर लहरी तिरुमाल प्रेम से मराठी के चरणों में सतनमन सेवा जोहार करते
The introduction is so lengthy.
समाज शक्ति पितृ शक्तियों को सगा जनों को सेवा जोहार गोंडवाना महासभा विकास परिषद शाखा.
Let us see this Gondi video. Gondi. This is Gondi. The language in Gondwana, Central India. No, it is mutilated. It is mutilated like Bhojpuri.
सर्वप्रथम गोंडवाना की पावन भूइयां को सतनमन करते हुए बामनगढ़ के देवी देवताओं को सेवा.
It is so much so disturbed. The folk is folk dance in tribe of Jharkhand. It is Jharkhand. It is same. The passion. It is Songnach. It is the part of Chhau in Jharkhand.
Friends, this is Jharkhand. As the saying goes here, every word you speak.
We should concentrate on this Lalgarh, and I am trying to get some real clippings of Lalgarh. Better we should get Chhatrodharer Gan in the track.
কেউ দিতে চায় আছাড়, কেউ দিতে চায় মারি, রুক্ষ মাটির দুঃখ নিয়ে ছাত্রধারী নারী, ছাত্রধার। কাজন দিল ইজ্জত, কাজন দিল প্রাণ, আর কিছু নয় বাঁধছে সময় ছাত্রধারের গান, ছাত্রধার। কেউ দিতে চায় আছাড়, কেউ দিতে চায় মারি, রক্ষ মাটির দুঃখ
ఏ రకమైన జాగ్రత్త తీసుకోవాలి, ఏ రకమైన మర్యాదలు పాటించాలి అనే దాని మీద కూడా ఒక తాకీదును దాని యొక్క ఆంతర్యం ఏంటో కూడా ఇలా చర్చించుకుంటాం. ఇవాళ చర్చలో పాల్గొనడానికి మన స్టూడియోలో నీటి పారుదల రంగ నిపుణులు, మాజీ జనసంఘం సభ్యులు శ్రీ విద్యాసాగర్ రావు గారు ఉన్నారు. వారితో పాటుగా ప్రజ్ఞా భారతి అధ్యక్షులు డాక్టర్ హనుమాన్ చౌదరి గారు ఉన్నారు. మనతో చర్చలో పాల్గొనడానికి తమ నివాసులను
the Naxal threat.
If they carry on militancy, certainly they'll have to be met with certain action by the state government.
It was it is called Operation Green Hunt.
The maneuvering by crack anti-Naxal commandos, reporting from deep within the jungles of Dantewala.
Now the administration
It is the same Operation Green Hunt in Datebara in Chhattisgarh.
Operation Green Hunt, Saturday 9:30 p.m. and Sunday 10:30 p.m. only on Headlines Today.
And this is the interview of Arundhati Rai. We should listen to her.
Hello, welcome to the CNN IBN special. In the aftermath of the killing of the 76 Jawans in Dantewada by Maoists, there has been a nationwide debate which has been a polarized one. One argument is argued for maximum force to crush the Maoists. The other argument is about initiating an outreach program, democracy and rehabilitation. Joining us now is Arundhati Roy, author and activist, someone whose recent writings on the Maoists and her open sympathy and empathy for them has created a great degree of debate and controversy. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. You wrote your article, Walking with the Comrades in Outlook magazine, before Dantewada happened. In the aftermath of Dantewada, do you still stand by the tone of sympathy that you had with the Maoists cause in that essay?
Well, it's an odd way to say before and after Dantewada happened, because actually, this cycle of violence has been building and building. It's not the first time that a large number of security personnel have been killed by the Maoists, and I've even written about it, about Rani Bodli and the other attacks that took place between 2005 and 2007. And the way I look at it is often, people try to make it sound like, oh, on this side are the people who are celebrating the killing of the CRPF, and on that side are the people who are asking for the Maoists to be, wiped out. That's not the case. I think that you've got to look at every death as a terrible tragedy in a system, in a war that's being pushed on the people. And that, unfortunately, is becoming a war of the rich against the poor, in which the rich put forward the poorest of the poor to fight the poor. So the CRPF are terrible victims, but they are not just victims of the Maoists. They are victims of a system of structural violence that's taking place that is sought to be drowned in this empty condemnation industry that goes on, which is entirely meaningless, because most of the time the people who condemn them really don't have any sympathy for them. They're just using them as pawns.
But who then will break the cycle of violence? The state argues that the reason why the state has to cleanse the area or sanitize the area, as it's called, is because that whenever it initiates development works or starts schools or builds bridges, those are blown up by the Maoists. Is it that the cycle of violence, according to you, can only be broken by the state? If the state pulls back, is that what you believe?
Well, there are simple sort of litmus tests for that. Is it the case that there are schools and hospitals and no malnutrition and a lot of development in poor areas where there aren't Maoists? That's not the case. The fact is that even if you look at studies that are being done, let's say by doctors in a place like Bilaspur, what Binayak Sen describes as nutritional AIDS is happening. When you go into these schools, you see that they are used as barracks. They are built as barracks. So to say that the Maoists blow up schools and they are against development is a bit ridiculous.
But you condemn state violence, and the charge against you is that you don't condemn Naxal violence, you don't condemn Maoist violence. In fact, you rationalize it and even romanticize it. That is a charge made against you. And in fact, if I can read from your essay where you've written, I feel I ought to say something about the futility of violence. But what should I suggest they do? Go to court, a rally, a relay hunger strike? That sounds ridiculous. Which party should they vote for? Which democratic institution should they approach? You seem to be saying that non-violence is futile.
Well, this is a strange charge to someone who's been writing about non-violence and non-violent movements for more than 10 years now. But what I saw when I went into the forest was this, that non-violent resistance, though it has actually not worked, not in the Narmada Bachao Andolan and not, let's say, in many other non-violent, even militant movements, it has worked in some parts. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but I'm talking about things like Gandmardhan or occasionally little pockets. But inside the forest, it's a different story, because non-violence, and particularly Gandhian non-violence, in some ways needs an audience. It's a theater that needs an audience. But inside the forest, there's no audience. When 1,000 police come and surround a forest village in the middle of the night, what are they to do? And how are the hungry to go on a hunger strike? How are people with no money to boycott taxes or foreign goods or do consumer boycotts? They have nothing. So I do see the violence inside that forest as a counter-violence, as a violence of resistance, and I do feel terrible about the fact that there is this increasing cycle of violence, that the more weapons the government arms the police with, those weapons end up with the Maoist PLGA. It's a terrible thing to do to any society, and I don't think there's any romance in it. However, I'm not against romance, and I do feel it's incredible that these poor people are standing up against this mighty state that is sending thousands and thousands of paramilitary. I mean, what are they doing in that forest against those people with AK-47s and grenades and thousands of rounds?
But the Maoists have AK-47s too. They have SNRs too. They have pressure bombs too.
They snatched their AKs from the cops.
Should people like you not be raising their voices against the cycle of violence, or should you actually be trying to find rationalizations for it? Because you've been called an apologist for the Maoists. The BJP has called you the sophisticated face of Naxalism. If you don't raise your voice against their violence and simply see it as a morally acceptable, as a morally legitimate